I'm going to do this video real quick. I was just talking with a friend of mine based in Europe, and we had some questions regarding compensation structures, and I got all fired up and kind of passionate about this, so I decided I was going to make a video. So really this video is about a breakaway compensation model versus a Unilevel compensation model. I'm not going to go into every detail in compensation models at all right now, but I have been a part of 3 different kind of compensation models. And I will tell you that what I find interesting is that people that are in breakaway compensation models tend to be so loyal to that compensation structure. And quite frankly, I have seen very few really make it. Now, a lot of the old timers in this industry have made it, and they've made it big. And I'm friends with them, and I love them, and I congratulate them. But in the 10 years I've been in this industry, I have seen very, very, very few people actually make it from, nothing to the highest levels in the company, in a breakaway compensation structure. So a breakaway compensation structure basically says this: you need to do X amount of volume each month in order to maintain your position. And then everyone below you has to do the same. They maintain maybe what's called an executive or director or whatever it might be position, and they have to basically have, a couple $1,000s worth of volume going through their business. Now, if they had taught this by saying you need to maintain 2,000 or 3,000 in volume by going and getting 20 or 30 customers, and literally said until you have your 20 or 30 customers, don't move forward, then I think it'd be a lot more sustainable, and I myself might still have been in that model, and the thousands of people that I've known that have gone through that model would still be there. The issue is this in a breakaway compensation model, and I know I might offend some people here, but guess what? I don't care, because I have seen it, I've experienced it, and once again, I will maintain my respect for those people that have made it over at a breakaway compensation model. However, this is what happens. If I have to maintain $2,000 worth of volume every single month, and I'm not getting 20 or 30 customers, and let's be quite honest, that's a lot of customers for the average person in this industry. Think about your business. How many personal customers do you have, right? They come and they go. This is business, right? Retention is what it's all about. But listen, the average consumer is not going to stick with it. So obviously we're always adding more. So I never have between 20 and 30 customers. So let's say I'm good, I'm better than most, and I have $1,000 or even $1,500 worth of volume, and I have to absolutely hit that 2,000 in volume that month. Well, where's that going to come from? Most likely, I'm going to buy the remaining $500 worth of volume. And if you've been in a breakaway compensation structure, you've done it. I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars that I spent. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people that are just extremely bitter about the business and about the industry because they were basically spending all their money on products. This is a problem that's been around for many, many years. You won't see these compensation structures in any new companies because it's just frankly not sustainable for the average person. So really what happens if you were to look at an organization altogether or a company altogether, is their sales volume, say they're a $1 billion company, is their sales volume true customer sales volume, or is it basically bought volume from anyone that's in the business? Now, please know I'm not trying to be negative about our industry, and the older companies have paved the way, and like I said, man, I have so many friends that I respect greatly and that are hugely successful people that have made it in this model. I just haven't seen anyone really make it in the last 10 years or so doing this. Now let's go over to a Unilevel model. Okay, Unilevel model has the same idea where you build an organization, but what they've done with the Unilevel model is they've taken away the breakaway portion of it. So that person doesn't break away from you. All volume counts for you, and you don't have units that have to maintain a certain amount. Now, of course, there are qualifications you have to hit, whether that is volume-based or whether that is position, rank, title-based. depending on which Unilevel program you're in. But what I've seen in the newer companies over the last, 7 or so years is that they've come up with these compensation structures that are a lot more fair for the average distributor, right? Listen, let's be honest. The majority of sales organizations are made up of individuals that are average individuals like you and me, but they are able to do very little. They have jobs, they have other commitments, they have all these different things, right? They're not the full-timer that's going to go out there, so they will maintain their little business. Well, if we make it possible for them in a Unilevel structure to maintain their business and not lose their organization, then that's great for everyone. That benefits everybody, right? So at the end of the month, they don't hit a rank, that's fine. They still get to keep their organization and they still have whatever volume and commissions that they have. So, I'm not going to go into details of all of these all the structures and the ins and outs of comp structures, and every company really is different. But I wanted to point out the differences between a Breakaway and a Unilevel. A Unilevel is just a newer, more modern, more realistic and sustainable version of the Breakaway. Quite frankly, if the companies that use Breakaway models change their compensation structure to a Unilevel, boom, they'd multiply by billions of dollars, and I honestly believe that. But they don't, because they're stuck in their old ways, or they've got other things that they've got to deal with, or it's just too late, right? So, you look at these, and someone might say, they might see this video and they might say, oh yeah, well then why are we, multiple billion-dollar companies with the big guys that use Breakaways? And it's simple. You're the big guy. You're a massive ship. You are going to grow by that much simply by the fact that you are that big, right? I'm not going to buy into that it's a sustainable business and that's a sustainable comp structure because I've lived it and I've seen thousands of people go through there. And literally I have a handful of people that I know that have stuck with it and that have sort of made it. But then you take the Unilevel structure, okay? Let's look at all these new companies popping up. Once again, they don't have to be new, but within the last 7 or so years that have these kind of comp structures. These companies are growing by hundreds and hundreds of millions, and they're not the same size as you. Now they will be. So this is another thing: is you want to stick around and ride in that boat, or you want to build something that it has true momentum and is truly sustainable. And if you think about what makes comp plans go, and its product, of course, you got to look how the product and the comp plan go together, how the product is driving the comp structure and creating the right behaviors. Because in the end, everything that succeeds will be because of the behaviors that the comp structure and the products created. Mark my words, that's exactly how it's going to be. This is why you see companies hitting $1 billion within 5-7 years, and you see these companies, and you may not like their products, you may not like the companies, that's okay. But you need to take note of why it's happening. And I see a lot of people in old comp structures like the Breakaway compensation structure that are sitting there convinced that they're in the right comp structure with they may have great products, but they think the comp structure is the reason why people have made millions of dollars. I would say take yourself out of it for a second and look what's happening around you. You don't even notice what's happening around you because you're drinking the Kool-Aid over there, and you need to understand that there is a big difference. Once again, my intention was not to offend people here, but I will talk about the realities of this business and this industry because I'm super passionate about the industry. I'm not only passionate about my success, I'm passionate about the success of others. So when I see others fail and they have a bad taste in their mouth, it makes me sad. Then there are those people that take full responsibility and say, okay, I learned my lesson and I'm going to go find something that's a better fit for me. Ultimately, my message is this: I believe you will find your home in this industry. I believe you will find somewhere where you can truly succeed. And that can be in any comp structure, okay? And regardless of what I've said in this video, it can be. However, I would just urge you to find something that is truly sustainable for you, where you can have long-term customer base, because whatever your why is or what your intention is for doing this business is, can you really walk away in 5 to 10 years? or are you still going to be at the same position you were at earlier? And so, take these things into consideration. Appreciate your time. Thanks.